Good afternoon. My name is AnthonyEsquivel, and today we're going to talk about your rights and responsibilities during your household move. Typically, there's three questions you want to ask. Very simple. Are you licensed, bonded, and insured? And most of the time, if you talk to anybody, they'll tell you to ask those three questions. But today's a little bit different. Today we're going to ask, and we're going to go deeper. What is licensing? What is bonding? And what is insurance? For the most part, most people, after they ask those three questions, they do their move and everything goes great. But there's a few where something happens, and because they didn't ask the right questions or didn't dig deeper about these questions, a lot of problematic things happen. Today, we're going to talk about licensing real quick, and we're going to talk about state requirements. The Dept is a very important person to know. It's an actual government agency that takes care of the trucks that are on the road here in Texas. Other states have their own agencies, but in Texas it's called Dept. They do have an official website called Dept.gov, and it's where you can find all the information about anything you want to know. In this case, in the moving industry, there is a Dept number that's associated with moving goods trucks. And that number basically shows if they're insured, if there's any problems with their company, or any other incidences that may have happened. So it's very important that if you do want to get a moving service, that you find out if their Dept is even up to date. There is also US dot. If you decide to move out of the state, don't forget, check that US dot number just as well. Other licenses include a basic business license. Sometimes you can have Joe's Moving Service, and they move something, and all of a sudden something happens, and you realize, hey, you know what, they're not even a real business. DBA is something you want to look for, doing business as. Typically, if a person has a DBA, it means they're either a established company because they're financially stable, or at least they're registered with the city, which gives you some more legal premise in case something does happen. A DBA also shows that they're a legit company and typically probably have a legit employee. In the moving industry, it's sometimes not unusual to find someone come up to your house who looks like they walked up the street. It happens. You don't know where the employee came from, you don't know who they are. They show up at your door, and all of a sudden you're kind of stuck with what you got, or send them back. And sending them back on moving day is probably not going to happen. Another topic we're going to get into is we're going to get into the insurance real quick. Besides the licensing, the insurance is also very important. How much insurance you get if something happens is a question you really want to ask, not just if you just have insurance. General liability is what you're looking for, and I would recommend that the company have about $1 million policy. And the only reason I say that is because that's typically the minimum that they offer. If they tell you some other number that they have, you might want to investigate what insurance company they use. If they can't tell you, then I wouldn't recommend you using their company. Many company employees, staff, probably don't even know that information because they don't get asked that question very often. So dig deeper and find out, who they are and who they're established with. Have they actually had a lot of problems before? And if they've had problems, is it something easy to take care of? Besides the insurance, we also have I also recommend that you use viewable proof, is what I call it. And viewable proof basically just means that they have a website maybe, or they have some place you can go, an office, and actually see their licensing and see their insurance policy and say, hey, you know what, it's the proof is in the pudding, it's all in there. And if something happens, these are what we cover, and you're well taken care of. And it's very important that you get to see this stuff, because if someone just tells you something, it's your word against theirs, and anything can happen. The bonding is an issue kind of connected with insurance. With bonding, it basically means that you're secure in case there's some type of theft. Bonding is very important because if one day you're moving your house, the next day you realize your laptop's missing. Well, the bonding is secure that during an investigation that you're taken care of. Bonding is a very flexible thing when it comes down to the amount, though. A lot of people ask you to have bonding, and a lot of companies reply, yes, we have bonding. But in the end, you realize that their bonding only covers $500 or maybe $100, which isn't a lot. You want to find out how much their bonding actually is. Bonding is something that a lot of companies don't have, typically because they use independent contractors as movers. Companies that do have bonding typically have employees, which I would personally recommend. If you want to go with a company who's legit, go with a company that has employees, someone who actually takes care of the same people over and over. The reason people use independent contractors, well, there's various reasons. It gives them the flexibility to basically hire anybody off the street they want. Now, you're basically going on their reputation, so if you know the company well, you can take a chance, but I wouldn't recommend it. For the most part, though, when it comes down to issues such as license, bonding, and insurance, find a reputable company. You know, go in and really ask a lot of questions about who they are, and just don't set up an appointment and set up a time and hope for the best. It's always good to really take some time and find out about a business. The Better Business Bureau is a great place to look. You can go online, look up the company name, and see if they have any complaints. And if they did have any complaints, see what the resolve was and see how it worked out. Now, with that in mind, I would definitely say that the reputation of a company is very important. So if you do find an issue with somebody, don't feel bad about reporting them, and also don't feel bad about complimenting them. If there's a place where you can put compliments about somebody or tell your friends, I would highly recommend it. For the most part, that's basically what I tell you about licensing, bonding, and insurance in the household industry. But if you have any other questions, you can always go online. There's a lot of information, and I hope you do, and I hope your next move goes great. Thank you.